Michael Scofield is introduced as a hero, and without a doubt, he is one. But are his methods truly heroic? Beyond being a brother willing to do anything to save the people he loves, Michael is also a strategic genius. He anticipates every detail, plans for a backup, sometimes even a backup to the backup. Nothing is left to chance. And yet, when you take a closer look at his choices, certain cracks begin to show, lines he is willing to cross, as long as it means reaching his goal. So, is Michael Scofield above all a hero or a brilliant manipulator? That's what we're going to explore across all 5 seasons of Prison Break. A hero can be defined as someone who performs extraordinary acts in the service of a cause they believe is just. They stand out through their courage, their willingness to sacrifice themselves, and their ability to go beyond ordinary limits to protect or save others. A schemer, on the other hand, is someone capable of influencing, steering, or using others to achieve a specific goal. Their methods rely on anticipating human behavior, controlling information, and sometimes withholding the truth. These two notions aren't necessarily opposites. A person can pursue a noble cause while using morally ambiguous strategies to achieve it. And that's exactly where Michael Scofield exists, right in that gray area. Michael's first heroic trait lies in personal sacrifice. Convinced on Lincoln's innocence, after analyzing inconsistencies in the case, he willingly gives up his career and his freedom to execute an escape plan from inside Fox River. This decision isn't impulsive, it's calculated, methodical, deliberate. Michael doesn't just believe in his brother, he verifies, studies, and anticipates. Episode 16 of Season 1 also sheds an interesting light on their relationship. It hasn't always been perfect. Michael has long kept his distance, sometimes even showing a certain emotional detachment. His commitment, then, isn't blind loyalty. It's the choice of a man who refuses to accept an injustice he clearly recognizes. As the series progresses, his heroism extends far beyond Lincoln. He risks his life to save Sarah during the Fox River riots, he protects LJ whenever he can, and he constantly tries to preserve his family despite being relentlessly hunted. Even in Season 5, he chooses to help Ja escape Yemen, despite having no obligation to do so. His decisions reveal a constant. Michael acts in the name of a higher principle, often at his own expense. And part of this can be linked to his low latent inhibition syndrome. However, Michael's values seem to fade the moment his plan is threatened or something unexpected occurs. That's when his manipulative side becomes the most visible. This manipulation isn't impulsive, structured, almost systematic. From the very beginning, Michael carefully studies every individual who could be useful to him. He identifies their weaknesses, motivations, and pressure points. John Abruzzi for his power and resources, Sarah for access to the infirmary, and Charles for his experience and composure. And money. He just doesn't plan. He constantly adapts. Twitter's arrival is a perfect example. Michael quickly realizes he could become an asset, especially because of his agility and ability to move unnoticed. In Sona, this mechanism becomes even more apparent. Stripped of any initial control, Michael observes, analyzes power dynamics, and exploits each person's needs to rebuild influence. His manipulation also relies on precise control of information. He carefully chooses what to reveal, to whom, and when. Sucre is a revealing case. Michael quickly understands that his attachment to Mary Cruz can be used as leverage. He brings him into his plan while withholding key information, supposedly to protect him. This strategy comes at a cost. By involving others in his plans, Michael directly exposes them to danger. Several characters pay the price, directly or indirectly. Twinner, Westmoreland, Sarah's father. Let's not forget how he ignored Seth's call for help because it would damage his plan regarding T-Bag. So even if his intentions can be seen as legitimate, his methods rely on the constant instrumentalization of others. Michael doesn't act alone. He turns the people around him into pieces of a plan that only he fully controls. In the end, Michael Scofield is neither entirely good nor entirely bad. He constantly operates in a gray area, torn between multiple stakes that evolve over time. His own survival, his brother's, then Sarah's, and eventually those of Sucre's, moans, and weeps, even though he died. Anyway, at the beginning, his intention is almost pure, that of a younger brother willing to do anything to save his older one, a heroic figure driven by love and loyalty. But it's precisely his methods that blur that image, because to reach his goal, Michael manipulates, anticipates, sacrifices, and sometimes crosses lines he probably never imagined he would. The shift becomes more and more visible throughout the series. In the early days, he's still deeply human, shaken by the violence around him in Fox River. But little by little, something changes. Loss, pressure, repeated failures, they harden him. Where he once hesitated, he now acts. Where he once felt, he now calculates. Until at times, he becomes almost cold. His actions speak for themselves. Killing out of desperation, leaving someone behind to survive, making morally questionable choices, not out of cruelty, but because he's cornered, desperate, because in his mind there's no other way. And maybe that's where the true strength of the character lies. Because in the end, the real question isn't just who Michael is, but who we would be in his place. With the same determination, the same intelligence, the same love, the same obsession to succeed, would we really have made different choices? And one final question remains. Does the ending, his freedom, his family, somehow justify everything he sacrificed along the way? Maybe so.